Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's City Council meeting. It's Tuesday, August 19th, and we're very pleased to have you here tonight. We'll start our meeting with a roll call of your City Council.
Council members Erickson. Here. Erpenbach. Here. Jameson.
Here.
Karski.
Here.
Kiley.
Here.
Rolfing.
Here.
Staggers.
Present.
Anderson Jr.
Here.
Thank you very much. Full house tonight, which is great. We'll start our meeting, of course, with an invocation. Councilor Rex Rolfing is going to lead us in that invocation. What we'd ask you to do is to stand, and then after Councilor Rolfing is done with the invocation, if you'd remain standing for our Pledge of Allegiance. Councilor Rolfing, thank you.
No problem. I take this from a devotion that we get for a monthly basis, and when they are appropriate, I use them here. So we're using a Psalm 72 as the basis for it. It says, we like to think that we invoke God's presence when we pray, as though God were lurking somewhere out there and needed to be made aware of our existence. The reality is that God invokes us. God is continually calling us into the divine presence in the midst of our daily lives, which we call our vocations. One of our important vocations is that of a citizen. When America inaugurates a president, it's been a long time, usually a long and contentious political struggle to reach the election. On these occasions, as is traditional, words of invocation will be prayed. Whoever is chosen to do so might well recall the words of today's psalm, which is prayed with God's agenda and a particular kindly leader in mind. May the priorities named by the psalmist in verse 4 be those of today's elected leaders. They are: defend the cause of the poor of the people, give deliverance to the needy, and crush the oppressor. May the prayer of all leaders and citizens be, may righteousness flourish and peace abound. Let us pray. Lord, tonight we take on the business of the city. Help us to do it in your name and as your will directs us. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilor Rolfing, again, thank you so much for doing that for us tonight. We'll now move on to our consent agenda. Council, any motions or changes to the consent agenda? Councilor Staggers?
Yeah, do you want to make the motion first, or should I go ahead?
Move for approval.
Second, Erpenbach.
Councilor Anderson Jr. has made a motion to approve our consent agenda, seconded by Councilor Erpenbach. Councilor Staggers?
Yes. I have three items. First of all, in regard to the Department of Highways and Streets, $214,161 for Paver Alley rehabilitation. And then Parks and Recreation, Green Play LLC, this is for a plan, $69,995. And then finally, Economic Development, Downtown Sioux Falls, $160,000.
Councilor Staggers, thank you. Those have been noted. We'll get to those later on in the meeting. Any other motions or items, Council?
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Councilor Erpenbach.
Mr. Mayor, I need to move to amend the consent agenda. I'm going to look at items 14 and 15. My amendment is going to be to take that bold line, set a date of hearing for Tuesday, September 9th for item 15. So that would move down. And then I'm going to, for item 14, this would be the amendment. Set a public hearing date for Tuesday, September 9th, 2014 at 7 p.m. and set adoption of the resolution for Tuesday, September 16th, 2014 at 7 p.m. That's for item 14.
Second, Erickson.
And there has been a motion to amend our consent agenda. And Lori, did you get those?
I did, yes.
Lori got those. Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you. And that was seconded by Councilor Erickson. Any discussion, Council?
It's just a housekeeping thing.
Very
Mayor.
good. Thank you. A roll call vote, please.
Okay, council members Erickson.
Yes.
Erpenbach.
Yes.
Jameson.
Yes.
Karski.
Yes.
Kiley.
Yes.
Rolfing.
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
The amendment is passed 8-0. Any other changes to the consent agenda?
Okay.
Councilor Sayer, did you have another amendment, sir?
No.
Okay.
I just have.
Very good. We now have an amended motion. Roll call vote, please.
Okay, council members Erickson,
Could I ask
Sure.
what are we voting on now exactly?
Your three items will get to
Okay, so-
right after we approve the regular agenda, or after the public input.
Okay.
That's okay? Great, thank you. So we've got the amended, we've got we're voting on the amended main motion on the consent agenda. A roll call vote, please.
council members Erickson.
Yes.
Erpenbach.
Yes.
Jamison.
Yes.
Karski.
Yes.
Kylie.
Yes.
Rolfing.
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
Anderson.
Thank you. That is passed 8-0. Council, the regular agenda, any changes to that?
Second, Anderson.
Councilor Rolfing's made a motion to approve our agenda for tonight, and it was seconded by Councilor Anderson Jr. If there's no discussion, a roll call vote, please.
Council members Erickson.
Yes.
Erpenbach.
Yes.
Jamison.
Yes.
Karski.
Yes.
Kylie.
Yes.
Rolfing.
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Thank you. That is passed 8-0. Again, welcome to tonight's City Council meeting. We're pleased to have you here. Folks, this is an opportunity for you to actually engage the council on any topic that you want involving your city. If it is an item that is later on in the agenda, we just ask you to kind of hold off until that point. But there's all kinds of other things going on too in town. So come on forward, just introduce yourself to the people of our city. And then all we'd ask is that the council would like you to keep the comments to 5 minutes or less. Anybody want to speak to the council? Welcome, sir. Good to have you here.
Good evening. My name's John Rabb. I'm from the West Sioux area in Sioux Falls. Basically, I'm here today because I'm having issues with zoning.
Okay.
There's been a lot of emphasis on the Project Nice project, keeping basically homeowners liable for picking up after themselves. And what I'm running into is an incident where the zoning laws don't cover agricultural equipment being parked on somebody's property. There's some kind of a clause or some kind of a bylaws that the city attorney's office cannot make or do anything with the zoning laws to get the removal of agricultural or tractors from somebody's residence. Now, everything is in the stipulations about inoperable cars, junk, just junk piled up. This is basically farm tractors. And it's not just one residence, there's several residents, especially in the Project Nice area that got cleaned up this spring. And even after the cleanup and after everybody's came back and examined those houses, nothing's been done. Nothing's been changed. So basically what I was looking for is to see, because I've went through all of the code enforcement, I went to the city attorney's office, I went to everybody. Because it says agricultural, it doesn't fall into inoperable vehicles or something like that. I would like that changed as a homeowner because it dilapidates the value of my house as well as everybody else in the neighborhood. And basically that's why I'm here. I'm looking to see if the law or the zoning law can have that amendment in it that states that you can't have an inoperable vehicle. Well, I think a farm tractor or agricultural equipment, not just lawn tractors, falls into that category. And that if there's a complaint driven to the zoning, that it should be enforced.
Well, John, thank you very much. I think you're following the right process. Obviously, you went to planning and zoning, you went to the legal team. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. Now, I'd highly recommend, of course, your council, or they are the legislative body. They make the policies for this city. And again, we don't engage you here at this forum, but certainly we'll, Mr. Cooper is right behind you. He's the gentleman.
Okay, I did go to Mr. Enneman when Enneman was on the council.
Very good. I would encourage you to work with Mr. Cooper. He'll get you in touch with the right folks. And then, of course, this council now has heard you as well. Your counselor is probably Counselor Kenny Anderson Jr.? No. Oh, who is it?
It'd be,
Oh, it's...
no, Shudine.
Nobody wants you. Mr. Sorry,
I
sorry,
pointed
John.
that from the attorney's office as well. Nobody wants me.
So West View. Okay, I'm sorry. You're in West Sioux?
West Sioux.
Oh, okay.
I'm,
Yeah, that
I'm
would be me
literally
then.
3 blocks from the event center.
Very good,
That
very
would be
good.
me. Please call me. Okay? Give me a call.
Mr. Rob, thank you. Great job. And that was just completely a joke, Sioux Falls. People do want to help Mr. Rob. Thank you. Great job, though. Thank you. We appreciate that. Any other comments for the council? Welcome, sir. It's good to have you here.
Good evening. My name is Ken Schuster, and I've come here tonight.
Mr. Schuster, was that Ted?
Ken.
Ken Schuster. Welcome, Ken.
Kenneth is the full name.
All right, Kenneth. Thank you.
I've come here tonight to express my concerns that I have in regard to the Sioux Falls Ice and Rec Center. As I understand, it will be open until December 1st, starting in September. Possibly later, depending upon what is determined by you people between now and then. But it will be available for starting September 2nd for figure skaters, hockey skaters, hockey games, hockey practice, the stampede practice there, private ice, for curling, and also for public ice skating. There will be people there from 2 years old to senior citizens. Some of these people will be accomplished seasoned skaters. Some it'll be the first time they've ever skated on ice. No matter which group a person falls into, they will need skates sharpened to enjoy the experience. Some things that are important to skate is that they will have the correct equipment for the sport they're playing in addition to sharpened skates. Hockey players, for example, need an array of equipment, including mouth guards, shin guards, that type of thing. If they don't have the proper equipment, they cannot participate at that time. Some of the small but important things that they need to have is a mouth guard. They also like to be able to wrap their hockey sticks with tape. They use tape to tape their hockey skates up, that type of thing. The general public sometimes come to skate with skates that haven't been sharpened for years because they haven't used them, or they've skated in outdoor rinks. No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean outdoor rinks. On lakes, stuff like that. Our outdoor rinks here in Sioux Falls are fantastic, don't get me wrong. But they'll go to a lake and skate, and walking to and from the car, they might walk into dirt, sand, that type of thing, which dulls the skates up. They also need skates sharpened. And if they come to the indoor rink to skate, if they want to enjoy the indoor ice, they need to sharpen skates. What I'm asking for you to do is to allow a Sioux Falls Ice and Rec Center to sell skate laces, mouth guards, white, black, and clear tape, and also to be able to sharpen skates for the public. Sioux Falls Ice and Rec Center has been selling these items for years, mainly as a convenience item, because without them, children may not be able to skate because of equipment requirements, or if they do skate, they will not be able to enjoy the experience of skating to the full benefit of themselves. Do you want to look at a 6-year-old child in the face and their parents and say, I'm sorry, you can't practice hockey tonight because you don't have a mouth guard, regardless of who forgot it, how it got lost, that type of thing? Or another person coming off the ice saying, I lost the edge of my skate and I can't turn right. Can you sharpen my skates for me? And you have to say, I'm sorry, no. What I would like you to do is consider redoing the prices of things so that we can sharpen skates for these people, so that we can sell tape that they need. Because if they don't have mouth guards at the time, they can't run down to the store, get mouth guards, get back on the ice. There's no time for that. If we can't sell it to them, they got to go home. Because in hockey, they can't be on the ice without mouth guards. So I'm asking that you reconsider those items that I've mentioned, that we can sell them at the Sioux Falls Ice and Rec Center. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Otherwise, thank you, and I hope that you will reconsider some of those items.
Kenneth, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Folks, anybody else want to engage the council? Well, thank you very much for being here tonight. We appreciate it. And those were two unique topics that, as your mayor, I've never heard about them before. So, and council, I don't know if you have either. So, again, thank you. Great job. Thank you. We'll now move on to item number, let's move on to Councilor Stagger's three items. The first one involved the Department of Highway and Streets. So, Mr. He, would you, or Mark Cotter's in the room. Very good. Mr. Staggers, or Councilor Staggers, please proceed.
Yes, Mark, and I don't know, maybe Mary too, would like to say something about what this is all about. I really do not know very much about spending $214,000 on paver.
Certainly, and I did apologize for the late, but just after lunch today, I did send out a note to give a little bit of background on this project. This project originally went in the capital plan in 2013 to 2017 plan. And so we've been working with the neighborhood, working with a design firm to really get the best solution on putting these pavers back. When pavers were originally laid, they were essentially laid on dirt, and the loads were obviously a lot lighter. Now with constant traffic of delivery trucks and garbage trucks, that base just hasn't satisfied it. And this alley in particular was dished out significantly with deep ruts. So for the last 2 years, until we could find a solution, we've actually just filled in those ruts with asphalt millings to make it passable. So now we're to the point where the design is done. It's the original sanitary sewer in that area, so the project includes putting in a new sanitary sewer down this alley and setting a new manhole. There's some drainage issues in the area. This alley's never had storm drainage, so we've got storm drainage going into this. And then we do have essentially a concrete slab that will place the pavers on that'll help carry the load of all these garbage trucks and delivery trucks. And so we've taken it to bid. We got 4 bids this 2 weeks ago, Thursday. The bid came in at $214,000. There's been work on this with the local historical board. They supported the project and also wrote a letter to help us secure a Deadwood grant of $28,000 to reduce the local cost share of improving this alley and actually restoring it with pavers. This will be the last quartzite paver alley in the city of Sioux Falls. It's conveniently located close to the Pettigrew Home and Museum. And so project is finally here. Again, it was put originally in the 13 to 17 plan, and we're ready to get started and get it built.
So, Mark, on the pavers themselves, how much do they cost? It sounds like this $214,000 includes utilities and things like that. Mm-hmm. So, but how much do the pavers cost? In other words, how much extra are we paying for something like this?
Yeah, so we're actually taking the pavers out there today. We're going to take them out, take them down to the street division. We're going to clean them, and then we'll actually put them back. So we're not buying new pavers for this. That's the part of the historical piece of this. And so as you look at that $214,000, about $78,000 is associated with the pavers. And then offset that with the grant of $28,000. There's about $51,000 in local dollars that would be used to restore this alley to its history.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Councilor Sagers, thank you. Councilor Sagers, next item involves Parks and Recreation.
Mr. Mayor, can I make a motion to approve that item, please?
Very good.
Second,
Thanks for keeping me
Anderson.
in line. Thank you. Councilor Urbanbach's made a motion to approve that item. Thank you, Councilor Urbanbach, for keeping me in line. Councilor Anderson Jr. has seconded that. There's been good discussion. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Erickson?
Yes.
Erpenbach?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Karski?
Yes.
Kylie?
Yes.
Rolfing?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
That is passed 8-0. Thank you. The next item Councilor Sagers would like to discuss involves Parks and Recreation. Is there anybody from Parks and Rec here tonight?
I was already received a phone call about this one.
Okay, Councilor Sagers.
And this is for a overall parks plan, and apparently every 10 years the Parks Department does it. And I expressed my concern to Don Carney that, $70,000 for a plan for 10 years seems a little high to me. So that's the reason I'm going to be voting against this.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Buck?
I just would encourage my colleagues to vote in favor of this one. 10-year plans are how we get the amazing park system that we have. By planning and visioning and then planning how we're going to spend that money, that's how we get this park system we're so proud of. So I'd vote yes, and I would make a motion to approve that item.
Second, Karski.
Counselor Buck's made a motion to approve this particular item, seconded by Counselor Karski. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Erickson?
Yes.
Erpenbach?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Karski?
Yes.
Kylie?
Yes.
Rolfing?
Yes.
Staggers?
No.
Anderson?
Yes.
That is passed 7-1. The third item involves economic development that Counselor Staggers would like to discuss. Counselor Staggers?
Yes, in regard to the downtown, this is actually a subsidy that we give the downtown every year at $160,000. But that doesn't include also the $140,000 they get from the bid, the Business Improvement District. So I think that getting $140,000 from the city, from the bid, is quite adequate, and they can operate quite well without the $160,000.
Counselor Staggers, thank you. Would anybody want to make a motion on this item just to see how it goes? Counselor Rolfing?
Second.
Counselor Kylie has seconded that. We appreciate that. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Erickson?
Yes.
Erpenbach?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Karski?
Yes.
Kylie?
Yes.
Rolfing?
Yes.
Staggers?
No.
Anderson?
Yes.
Thank you. That is passed 7-1. We'll now move on to item 16.
Item 16, rescind new 2014-15 retail malt beverage license for Cricket Collins, the bonus round bar, to be operated at 803 South Cliff Avenue. Item 17, new 2014-15 retail malt beverage license for Cricket Collins and Isaac Anderson, the bonus round, to be operated at 803 South Cliff Avenue, pending final inspection per health. 18, special one-day malt beverage and special one-day wine licenses for Commemorative Air Force Joe Foss Squadron to be operated at Maverick Air Center, 4201 North Maverick Place, for a hangar dance on September 13, 2014. 19 is a special one-day malt beverage and one-day wine licenses for Catering America, Inc., Chef Dominique's Catering, to be operated at Avera Medical Group, 6215 South Cliff Avenue, for a marketing event on August 26, 2014. Item 20, special one-day malt beverage and special one-day wine licenses for Catering America, Inc., Chef Dominique's Catering, to be operated at DocuTap, 101 South Phillips Avenue, Suite 300, for a ribbon cutting on August 27, 2014. Item 21, special one-day malt beverage and one-day wine licenses for Catering America, Inc., Chef Dominique's Catering, to be operated at Vance Thompson Vision, 3101 West 57th Street, for the Artisan 57 Open House on September 8, 2014. Special one-day malt beverage and special one-day wine licenses for Catering America, Inc., Chef Dominique's Catering, to be operated at Avera eCare, 4500 North Lewis Avenue, for a board meeting on September 24, 2014. 23 is a special one-day malt beverage and special one-day wine licenses for Catering America, Inc., Chef Dominique's Catering, to be operated at Sanford Health, 2301 East 60th Street North, for a special dinner event on September 12, 2014. And item 24, special one-day malt beverage and special one-day wine licenses for Catering America, Inc., Chef Dominique's Catering, to be operated at the Coliseum, 515 North Main Street, for a wedding on October 18, 2014.
Mr. Feifele, you're going to represent Jamie tonight, so welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. Items 16 and 17 are involving, first, a rescinding of a retail malt beverage license for Cricket Collins, and then item 17 instates that license for Cricket Collins and Isaac Anderson. This is due to state law to match their state sales tax license. They need to be exact, so that is the reason for items 16 and 17, a housekeeping item. Then 18 through 24 are special one-day permits that meet the state statutory requirements.
David, thank you. Appreciate it.
Move approval, Rolfing.
Second, Karski.
Counselor Rolfing, thank you. Counselor Karski, thank you for seconding that. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Erickson?
Yes.
Erpenbach?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Karski?
Yes.
Kylie?
Yes.
Rolfing?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Thank you. That is passed 8-0. Item 25, please.
Deferred from the City Council meeting of Tuesday, August 5, 2014. Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property east and west of North Marlow Avenue and north of East Fairway Drive from the AG Agriculture District to the RS Single Family Residential Suburban District. Petition number 2014-0603, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
Ms. Cooper.
Good evening. I'm Mike Cooper with City Planning and Building Services. This item is being applied by Scott Gilbert and Pat Beckman. We had deferred this once before. There's still issues that we're working on in terms of street access and improvements. This would allow additional single-family development, and because of the continuing discussions that we're having, even as of today, we're requesting that we defer this one more time to September 2nd.
Mayor?
Yes, Councilor Anderson Jr.
Motion to defer agenda item 25 to the regular meeting of September 2nd, 2014.
Second, Rolfing.
Very good. Councilor Anderson Jr. has made a motion to defer this item, and it was seconded by Councilor Rolfing. Yes, Councilor Erickson.
I just want to say one little tidbit here, that I understand that people are working together on this, but I hope that the people that are impacted by the development are included in those conversations, that it's not just a Band-Aid gravel road that was there and is kind of there now. It's just so important that I know this group of people, they want the development. Mm-hmm. They do, but we just need to make it right for the traffic, that it's enforceable, that it's not just a gravel road that runs parallel, because I would take the concrete road. So I just really want to encourage the developers to work with those the residents, because I know they want the right thing as well. So I support the deferral, but I just really want to encourage the work together outside of this.
Councilor, thank you. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Erickson?
Yes.
Erpenbach?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Karski?
Yes.
Kiley?
Yes.
Rolfing?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
That is passed 8-0. Thank you. Item 26.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at 50 North Knoll Drive from the AG Agriculture District to the RD1 Twin Home Duplex Residential Suburban District. Petition number 2014-0602, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission unanimously recommends denial.
The applicants for this are also Scott Gilbert and Pat Beckman, and they are asking for this item to be withdrawn.
Mr. Mayor, I'd move to withdraw item 26.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Councilor Karski, and thank you, Councilor Rolfing. There's been a motion to withdraw this item, and is there any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Council members Erickson?
Yes.
Erpenbach?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Karski?
Yes.
Kiley?
Yes.
Rolfing?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
That is passed 8-0. Item 27.
First reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, amending the Code of Ordinances of the City by revising Chapter 32, City Organizations, Audit Committee, Operation, to clarify the appointment of the Audit Committee Chair.
Hi, Jim.
Good evening. Jim David, City Council staff. Current ordinance disagrees on whom shall appoint the audit chair. Chapter 32 designates that it's the Audit Committee, whereas Chapter 30 authorizes the Council Chair. The proposal before you is a recommendation from the Audit Committee that the power actually rests with the Council Chair. Further, the recommendation added that the Council Chair must be a member of the City Council. Be happy entertaining your questions.
Councilor Karski.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim. The reason this became an issue is, well, Councilor Jamison ran the Audit Committee for so long, we forgot how to do it, to appoint a chair, I guess. But when Councilor Rolfing agreed to take the position of chair, when I asked him to do that as council chair, is when this came to light. And it's problematic in that the audit department, Rich Oaksold, is reportable to the city council, and it would be very difficult for a private citizen to do a review and personnel review and that type of thing. So it becomes an HR issue is really what it came down to. So encourage your support for this.
Thank you, Councilor. Thank you.
I would move approval.
Second, Erickson.
Very good. And folks, what we're doing is that we're actually setting a date of hearing and second reading for Tuesday, September 2nd for this item. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Erickson,
Yes.
Erpenbach,
Yes.
Jamison,
Yes.
Karski,
Yes.
Kylie,
Yes.
Rolfing,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Thank you. That is passed 8-0. Item 28.
First reading an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, providing supplemental appropriations.
Good
Hi,
evening.
Tracy.
Tracy Turback with the Finance Office. This supplemental appropriation ordinance includes two items. The first is for the Engineering Division of Public Works in the amount of $315,000. That is for street improvements to Brandy Avenue, and those costs will be reimbursed by adjacent property owners. Chad Heavey is here if you've got questions about that specific project. The second item relates to the Event Center and would appropriate $236,000 for the Event Center Construction Fund, and that is to be for equipment for the Event Center and would be funded by contributions from our food and beverage provider, Ovations. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have on that.
Tracy, thank you. Yes, Councilor Anderson Jr., I'm
Tracy,
sorry.
I do have a question. Why are we putting appropriations to the CIP now instead of when we review the CIP in a few weeks? Or is that what the plan is?
This is for this year. Are you referring?
This is for this
For
year?
both of these projects, or?
Yeah, well, all four of them, I guess. They're all four this year, though?
Yes.
Okay.
Move to approve, Karski.
Second, Rolfing.
There has been a motion to set a date of hearing and second reading for Tuesday, September 2nd by Councilor Karski, seconded by Councilor Rolfing. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Erickson,
Yes.
Erpenbach,
Yes.
Jamison,
Yes.
Karski,
Yes.
Kylie,
Yes.
Rolfing,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
That is passed 8-0. Item 29.
First reading an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at 4324 South Minnesota Avenue from the RS Single Family Residential Suburban District to the O Office District, petition number 2014-0706, and amending the unofficial zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
The applicant for this item is Jeff Bowen with Advanced Eye Care. This property consists of about 2/10 of an acre. It's located on the east side of Minnesota Avenue, south of the Big Sioux River. The applicant is proposing to expand their business with additional parking and is requesting that this parcel be zoned from residential to office to allow for the parking lot to be expanded. The Planning Commission is recommending approval, and we did not have any neighborhood opposition to this zoning change.
Thank you, Mike.
Move for approval, Anderson.
Second, Kylie.
Councilor Anderson Jr. Has made a motion to set a date of hearing and second reading for Tuesday, September 2nd, and it was seconded by Councilor Kylie. Councilor Rolfing.
Yes, Mike, have they set any kind of standards or conditional uses or anything on this change? I guess my concern is, I watched that that building go up, and it's a nice building, and then the parking lot, they put a fence up there, I believe, or something to cover the first parking lot, and now they're going to take out all the trees and everything that go along there, I would think.
There's still screening and landscaping requirements that they would have to comply with.
Yeah, I'm just wondering about whether or not we should require them to save some of those trees, or, because you notice, I don't think there's many trees in that parking right to the west or east of Minnesota Avenue. And it's going to really take away from what Minnesota Avenue looks like.
Maybe what I can bring for second reading would be a more detailed
Yeah,
plan that would show you what it's going to look like.
okay, if you would, please. Thank you.
Councilor Rolfing, thank you. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Erickson,
Yes.
Erpenbach,
Yes.
Jamison,
Yes.
Karski,
Yes.
Kylie,
Yes.
Rolfing,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Anderson.
That is passed 8-0. Item 30.
First reading an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at 1709 and 1715 South Cleveland Avenue from the RA1 Apartment Residential Low Density District to the O Office District, petition number 2014-0707, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
The applicant and owner of this property is SIG Props, LLC, SIG PROPS. The site is just over 1/2 acre in size. And the proposal would be to rezone this to take down the existing duplex and eventually construct an office building with associated parking. This is just, the existing duplex is just directly north of an existing dental clinic, which is also zoned office. We did have some neighborhood calls on this, and it was primarily not the use, but they were concerned about the impact on the existing drainage way. This redevelopment would not impact the existing drainage way that currently exists on the north and west side. That was the only questions that we heard about.
Thank you, Mike. Councilor Anderson Jr.
Mike, when we have the second reading on this also, I believe.
Yep.
Can we have a more detailed plan on how they're going to access Cleveland Avenue? There's a,
That's a hill.
it's going to be a bottleneck in there with the bank and the other business across the street. I use that area a lot, and the traffic gets bottlenecked in there, especially since we've made the traffic changes we've done for 26th Street.
We can talk about what the access would be
Okay.
with this future redevelopment.
Thank you. Move for approval.
I'll second that.
Councilor Anderson Jr. has made a motion to set a date, a hearing, and second reading for Tuesday, September 2nd. That motion was seconded by Councilor Rolfing. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Erickson.
Yes.
Erpenbach.
Yes.
Jamison.
Yes.
Karski.
Yes.
Kylie.
Yes.
Rolfing.
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
That has passed 8-0. Thank you. Item number 31.
First reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at 111 West 17th Street from the RA3 Apartment Residential High Density District to the S1 General Institutional District, petition number 2014-0708, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
This is the Waterford at All Saints property, which has been in place for a number of years. Through the current development, it was considered to be basically multifamily residential, and it fit that zoning category. They're now looking at future expansion plans that will add 31 memory care units, health and fitness area, as well as 2 floors of independent living units for an additional 63 dwellings. So with this future expansion, as we looked at it, this proposed zoning fits the use better to look at institutional, and so that's what we're recommending approval to allow this future expansion on their existing site.
Thank you, Mike. Yes, Councilor Jamison.
Thank you, Mike. I thought I had heard that there was some kind of a state moratorium on building these memory care rooms to help fill up other facilities.
I haven't heard of that. I know there has been a nursing home moratorium for
Maybe
many
that's
years.
what it was.
Yeah,
Okay.
but not memory care.
Okay, very good.
Councilor Anderson Jr.
So, Mike, this will all be on the existing campus?
Yes, yes, they will not be expanding out into any adjacent property, primarily on the east, so it will take up a significant amount of that existing property, and they will be obviously meeting our requirements for off-street parking with this expansion.
Move for
Mike.
approval.
Councilor Anderson Jr., thank you. He would like to set a date of hearing and second reading for Tuesday, September 2nd.
Second, Karski.
Thank you, Councilor Karski. A roll call vote, please. Oh, no, I'm so sorry. Councilor Mbach.
Just one quick question. Neighborhood input on this? Anything?
Nothing of concern, just more informational.
Right. Yeah, no, it's
Seems to
great.
be a good neighbor.
Yes, they are a very good neighbor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Mbach. My apologies. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Erickson.
Yes.
Erpenbach.
Yes.
Jamison.
Yes.
Karski.
Yes.
Kylie.
Yes.
Rolfing.
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
That has passed 8-0. Item 32.
First reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at various locations and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning staff recommends approval.
This is a first opportunity for the council to help us correct some zoning issues that came about through the transition of our old zoning ordinance with a shaped places zoning ordinance. And these are being brought to you through a combination of things that the city staff have realized, as well as discussions with the property owners. There are 5 properties that we're asking you to consider correcting the zoning. All of these have been done in accordance with the property owners. All the property owners are in support of these changes. And I'll go through each one really quickly. The first one is called the Timber Oak Windswept Place. This was an old plan development that had some unique conditions that the developer had requested of additional setback requirements, more restrictive than our zoning. So the use doesn't change. It's still going to be single family, but this would put in those additional setback requirements that were under the old zoning regulations. The second item is on South Sycamore Avenue. In this case, the existing structure exceeds 100,000 square feet, and it's primarily commercial, so we would like to change it from industrial to commercial. This is the northeast corner of East 10th and Sycamore Avenue. And again, the property owner is in support of this change. The next item is part of the West Ridge addition. In this case, under the old ordinance, a conditional use permit was approved for twin homes. And now with the new ordinance, we would just like to put the zoning in place that does say this will be twin home development. So we're changing it from RS with the old conditional use to the RD1, which means twin homes. The next item is part of Dakota Crossing at 81st and Minnesota Avenue. In this case, a conditional use permit was approved for up to 4-plex units. And so again, we're changing it from RD1, which under that zoning would only allow twin homes, to the RD2, which would allow the 4-plexes. And the last one is on South Cliff Avenue, which is the Avera Clinic that's currently under construction. And in this case, the current C2 zoning allows up to 25,000 square foot buildings. The clinic is roughly 46,000 square feet. So we want to change that and correct this to the C3 commercial zoning district, which allows up to 75,000. So those are the 5 we'll call corrections that we would like the council to consider at second reading.
And Mike, would you mind just letting the councilors know, as well as the people of this town know, how did you find these?
We found them through staff research, as well as contact by a couple of the property owners.
Thank you,
So
Michael.
it's a combination both ways.
Thank you. Yes, Councilor Karski.
Can you put back up the one on West 26th Street, please? When this came to a vote originally for the rezoning from single to the twin homes, there was some neighborhood opposition, and came down to a tie vote by the council and the mayor breaking the tie vote to allow the change. Are we going to be changing and allowing more twin homes in that area, or is that?
This, I think what you're referring to, Councilor, is actually a different location. Do we have that on there? Okay. If you have on your screen, the area that was circled in red is the one that we had the
It's
close
on the other
vote on.
side of the street.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
And thank you
Never
to my
mind.
cohort for helping me figure that out.
Okay.
Councilor, though, good job.
But you were close.
Yeah, paying attention. That's pretty good. Nice job. Councilor, any other comments on these items?
Move to approve, Erpenbach.
Thank you, Councilor.
Second, Rolfing.
Councilor Bach is making a motion to set a date of hearing and second reading for Tuesday, September 2nd on this item, seconded by Councilor Rolfing. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Erickson?
Yes.
Erpenbach?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Karski?
Yes.
Kylie?
Yes.
Rolfing?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Thank you. That is passed 8-0. Item 33.
A resolution approving the release of permanent easements located in Lot 12A of Block 2 and South Prince of Peace Place in Prince of Peace addition to Sioux Falls, Minnehaha County, South Dakota.
Good evening, Chad Heavey with the Engineering Division of Public Works. This permanent easement is on South Prince of Peace Place, which is on a private street on the Prince of Peace campus at 52nd and Bonson Avenue. The utilities in this easement have been relocated and are no longer in the easement. Therefore, the city no longer needs the easement, and we are recommending approval of its release.
Would anybody want to speak to this item? Thank you, Council.
Move to approve.
Councilor Jameson's made a motion to approve this, and it has been seconded by Councilor Erickson. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Erickson.
Yes.
Erpenbach.
Yes.
Jameson.
Yes.
Karski.
Yes.
Kylie.
Yes.
Rothing.
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Thank you. That is passed 8-0. Item 34.
A resolution advising and giving consent to the appointment of members to certain citizen boards, and this is for the appointment of Randy Huber to the Sioux Falls Convention and Visitors Bureau Business Improvement District.
Thank you, Lori. Councilor?
I'm assuming this fits the parameters that the bid board has on the voters?
Yes.
It's a larger
Yes.
hotelier? Yeah, okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Move to approve.
And I'll second that, I'm sorry.
No, thank you very much. Councilors, I appreciate that. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Erickson.
Yes.
Erpenbach.
Yes.
Jameson.
Yes.
Karski.
Yes.
Kylie.
Yes.
Rothing.
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
That has passed 8-0. People of Sioux Falls, I know it seems like we're getting in and out of here earlier, but the council has actually been here since 3 o'clock today, pounding out the plan for our city for the next whatever years, and so they've earned their pay today and more. But council, do you want to get out of here?
Move to adjourn.
Very good. I think it was Councilor Rolfing who said that, and Council Chair Karski seconded that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This meeting is adjourned, Sioux Falls. Thank you, Council, for your work. Thank you, Sioux Falls. Make it a great night.